multiplying and dividing integers. Today's video covers standards NS.2a as well as NS.2b. Go ahead and reference the Unit 1 newsletter in your MSG to get the full details of our standards. All right? Let's move on to our I can statements. By the end of this video, you will know the rules for multiplication. Also, you would know the rules for division. And then under that division scope, we're going to talk about if I have two integers and I'm going to divide them, then my q cannot equal 0, as well as if I have a negative p divided by q, then that is the equivalent of having p divided by negative q. All right, so let's get started with a short talk about division. Here are two things that I need you all to understand about division. If I am dividing two integers, it is imperative that we know that as long as I'm dividing two integers, my divisor, it cannot equal 0. All right, it cannot equal 0. So this is like saying if I have 8 divided by 0, we don't know how many times 8 can go into 0. I'm sorry, 0 can go into 8. So therefore, it's like an undefined answer. This does not equal 0. Our answer is undefined. And you will read or see more about that when we get to 8th grade mathematics as well as higher level mathematics. So the first thing we need to remember that if we are dividing integers, our divisor, it cannot equal 0. And then number 2, if we are dividing integers, negative p divided by q is the same thing as having positive p divided by negative q. This is just basically saying if I have negative 3 over 2, it's the same thing as having 3 over negative 2. The negative sign can move up or down, and your fraction or your division problem is still equivalent. All right? So these are just two things we need to remember. If I'm dividing, then I cannot have a 0 on the bottom if I'm dividing integers. And then if I have a negative number and it is a division problem, that negative is not bound by or is equivalent to me having the negative sign on the bottom or the denominator. All right. So last thing that I want to talk about is this sign here. We don't use that division sign in 7th grade mathematics, and you will rarely see it in mathematics as you get higher into the levels. We now use fraction signs. So if you see a fraction, know that that means division. So the rules. This is very simple for you all to understand because unlike addition and subtraction where there are two different rules and then you're talking about having to change a number and flipping and adding the additive inverse, the rules are the same for both operations. So we can use the same rules when we're dividing as well as multiplying. So let's take a look at the rules. The same thing that we can use from adding and subtracting is the fact that we must look at the signs. All right? So we have to pay attention to our signs. Now, if our signs are the same, then our final answer, you guys, is going to be positive. Our final answer is going to be positive if our signs are the same. So it's like saying a positive times a positive number gives me a positive number. Or if I have a negative number times a negative number, that gives me a positive number. All right? So positive times positive equals positive, and a negative times a negative equals a positive. And that holds true for division as well. A positive divided by a positive is a positive, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive answer as well. All right? Now, if my signs are different, in the word different, my answer is going to be negative. All right? The final answer will be negative if my signs are different. So if I have a positive times a negative, then my final answer will be negative. A negative times a positive, it doesn't matter the order, my answer is still negative. And then again, it holds true for division. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So, think about it. Same signs, positive. Different signs, negative. If my signs are the same, positive. If my signs are different, negative. Now, what I want you to think about is how we can incorporate this set of rules with our addition and subtraction rules. What is a great way for us to remember all the rules for multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting? Take a moment, think about that, and if you have an answer for me, bring it to class tomorrow and we can share it with everyone. All right? So let's practice some problems. Again, the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, are the signs different or are they the same? So you know I like to use my lines, and I'm looking at both numbers, and I'm noticing that my signs are the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply these numbers together, and I get 15. And because my signs, they are the same, my answer is positive. So this first answer is positive 15. Let's look at number 2, negative 6 divided by 2. So again, I'm going to look at the signs of my integers. What I notice is that my signs are different, and since my signs are different, my answer is going to be negative. And then I divide. Hold one moment, please.
May I get a custodian to Mr. Abel's classroom? A custodian to unlock Mr. Abel's classroom?
All right, I apologize for that interruption. But we have negative 6 divided by 2. So therefore my answer is negative, and then I divide the regular way. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my final answer is negative 3. Our next example is 8 times a negative 5. So of course I like to look at my signs. I have a positive and a negative, so my answer is going to be negative because my signs are different. The final answer will be negative. And then I just multiply the two numbers together. 8 times 5 is 40. So therefore my final answer is negative 40. And with our final example, let's take a look at this again. We have a negative and a negative. So we have a negative divided by a negative. We know that our signs are the same, so therefore my final answer is going to be positive. And then we divide the regular way. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So my answer is positive 4. All right? So it's your turn. Get ready. I want you to look at your answers, look at the process, and then get ready to pause the video because it is now your turn. You're going to take a moment, write down these examples, and then you're going to answer them, and then come back to the video, hit play to make sure that your answers are the same as mine. Go ahead and hit pause now. Okay, you're back, so let's take a look. Here, our signs, they are different. Our signs are different, which means that our final answer is going to be negative, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So my final answer is negative 3. Here, my signs, they are the same. So my final answer is going to be positive, and 8 times 4 is 32. All right, let's look at the next example. We have negative 45 divided by negative 9. We know that these signs are the same, so my answer is going to be positive. Remember, signs the same, the answer is positive. And 45 divided by 9 is 5, so my answer is positive 5. Our next example, we have 12 divided by negative 6. These have different signs, so my answer is going to be negative. And then we divide the regular way. 12 divided by 6 is 6. So my answer is negative 6. In our last example, we have negative 6 times 6. So we're going to multiply these two numbers. We get 36. and we notice that our signs are different, so therefore my final answer is negative. So my answer is negative 36. Alright, so just a recap on our rules. If you are multiplying or dividing numbers and they have the same sign, your final answer will be positive. However, if you're multiplying and dividing and your signs are different, then your answer is going to be negative. All right, so go back to the blog, make sure you read the entire entry, and then go to NICU to enter in your answers so you can be grouped accordingly tomorrow. All right, see you tomorrow.